So if I came to this panel right now and said, because this is really the conversation ultimately intellectually we should be having, clean slate. Okay, what tax model maximizes receipts and maximizes prosperity, economic growth, expansion, opportunity? What would it be? Because it's you know, most people say Laffer curve. I mean, we all know the reality that curve had been around for, you know, versions of it for 100 years. So because we're heading into a really interesting time because of the demographics of America, we're getting old. We're getting old fast. And whether anyone here wants to admit it, it's true from today through the next 30 years, 100% of the projected deficit is demographics. It's 75% Medicare, and if we backfill Social Security, it's the math, and that's from all the different think tanks. So I'm going to start with you, Dr. Auerbach. You have a clean slate, and like 30 seconds, tell me a tax system that that gets us a rational, stabilized rate of GDP in receipts, but we grow, and we grow robustly.
Well, I'd like to thank you for giving me a clean slate. I'm sure you'd like to be given one as well.
More than you'd ever know.
I would, I talked about consumption-based taxes in my testimony. I focused on the business level taxation, but I think that also applies at the individual level. And there are various models for taxing at the individual level, which I go through in my testimony, and I think there are different approaches, the value-added tax, the flat tax, progressive consumed income tax. And I think combined with a destination-based cash flow tax at the business level, I think that would really help growth. And let me add, as you're talking about aging, if you want to think about consumption versus income earning, you're going to have a lot of consumers out there relative to the number of earners as the population continues to age. And if you're thinking just about the size of the tax base, consumption is going to be an even more effective tax base to use relative to income as the old age dependency ratio increases.
Okay, so you would do a consumption with a VAT?
With a VAT or another kind of, some sort of consumption.
Or destination.
Yeah, some sort of consumption taxation, yes.
All right, Doctor?
So actually, I wrote a book with Bob Carroll in 2012.
I don't have that one on
what
my
we would do, yes, I don't know if this is on anybody's nightstand or not, but progressive consumption taxation, the Bradford X tax, it's a modification of that that can allow you, by setting the parameters, to achieve almost as much progressivity as you would want. I've decided, however, in the years since writing that book, that that particular tax design is simply too complicated to explain and to market, and I now accept that as a fallback position, that we should have a value-added tax, which is not a progressive consumption tax on its own, as part of the federal tax system,
so
along with individual and corporate income taxes.
So you would keep corporate, individual, go to a national VAT. Would you do any type of inbound cash flow tax, a VAT, something like that?
A VAT, yes, would be a destination
VAT
base.
here, but so you would do a type of VAT that also extended into imported goods.
Greetings, friends. So big changes are coming soon. Millions of Americans will be able to receive a $7,500 federal tax credit as long as they meet all eligibility requirements. Some states are also announcing additional rebate checks for their residents that can be worth as much as $1,000. My dear friends, please make sure that you watch until the end of this video to hear about all of these details. Also, every Friday, I will be announcing several winners for the Walmart gift card giveaway. If you would like to enter these weekly giveaway, friends, simply click and like several of my videos, and then comment below the keyword of each video that you watch. The more videos that you comment on, friends, the greater your chances of winning these giveaways. If you're thinking about buying an electric vehicle in 2024, there's some good news and some not so good news. First, the good news, it's going to be easier to access a substantial federal tax credit for electric vehicles next year. Now, for the not-so-good news, fewer cars may qualify for the full $7,500 credit. These tax credits are a crucial part of the Biden administration's plan to speed up the transition to electric vehicles and reduce carbon emissions from transportation. According to Yahoo News, Colorado is currently offering residents an extra $6,000 rebate for driving new electric vehicles through the Vehicle Exchange Colorado program. The state began accepting applications this fall for electric vehicle rebates up to $6,000 for new vehicles and up to $4,000 for used ones. To qualify for the program, drivers must turn in gas-guzzling cars that are either at least 12 years old or have failed emissions tests. Experts have noted that the best part is that these Colorado exclusive rebates don't cancel out or overlap with federal programs. This means it can be stacked on top of a $7,500 credit from the Inflation Reduction Act for a total of $13,500 in savings. Starting in January, if you are buying an electric vehicle, you won't have to wait until next year's tax season to claim the Clean Vehicle Tax Credit. There's a new option to take the credit as a rebate when you buy the vehicle. According to Yahoo News, this means that after some paperwork at the dealership, the credit will be available as cash or deducted from the vehicle's cost on the day of purchase. But as a buyer, you still need to confirm that you meet certain criteria, such as being under the income cap, purchasing the vehicle for personal use, and intending to use it in the United States. Both fully electric vehicles and plug-in hybrid vehicles can qualify for the tax credit. The number of vehicles that currently qualify can change frequently. The $7,500 tax credit is actually two separate credits, each worth $3,750. Vehicles can qualify both, one or neither. In addition to the basic criteria, the batteries in vehicles matter for qualification. This is because the materials in those batteries also need to meet specific sourcing requirements. In the last Federal Reserve press conference of 2023, Jerome Powell, the Fed chair, celebrated a surprising turn of events. Most economists, including those within the Fed, had predicted a recession due to the central bank raising interest rates to combat high inflation. However, the expected economic downturn did not happen. The reason for this unexpected outcome can be traced back to the crisis and historic $5 trillion fiscal stimulus injected into the economy by the U.S. government. The key factor in the 2023 economic story was the resilience of the U.S. consumer. Contrary to expectations, people spent more money than economists had projected. This was because Americans had more money at the beginning of the year. One major reason for this robust consumer spending was a substantial increase in excess savings, a phenomenon rarely seen during recessions. As a result, consumers entered 2023 in a stronger financial position than economists had anticipated. Businesses and consumers had locked in low interest rates before or during the crisis, shielding them from the substantial rate increases that began in March 2022. Well, my great and my most beautiful friends, that is the end of my daily stimulus update video for today. Oh, dear friends, thank you so much for being part of this community. This coming Friday, I will be announcing several winners for the Walmart gift card giveaway. If you would like to enter the weekly giveaway, friends, please click and like several of my videos and then comment below the keyword of each video that you watch. The more videos that you comment on, friends, the greater your chances of winning these giveaways. Thank you, and have a wonderful and very blessed week.